Hi everyone, we're from the Deloitte team. I'm Simone, this is Anna, Betty and Rosie, and we are doing Challenge 2 through our Energy Saver project. So, I'd like you all to meet Ken. Ken is probably about 55 to 60 years old according to the census. He's a grape grower and he is more likely to be male. We all know that. But we also know that because of his age and his demographic, he's more likely to be indifferent or anti-sustainability and less motivated around emissions reporting. Then I'd like you to meet Lewis, a little bit younger. He's a winemaker. He's probably about 40, still more likely to be male, but more likely to be intrinsically motivated around sustainability and emissions. So, what do they have in common apart from wine industry? They both want to reduce costs in their business. They have high energy costs is one of the main ones. So that's what they have in common. And when we mapped out what their customer journey looks like across the pathway and where the pain points were, Ken was probably not likely to have even seen the website, being a little bit less technology savvy, less likely to sign up for a membership, and definitely less reporting likelihood. Lewis, on the other hand, may have been a member, maybe a current member, reported but infrequent reporting, mainly because of business priorities, so lots of other things to do. And so what we'd like to do through our Energy Saver is to address some of these pain points.
So based on what we know about both customer personas, the known current customer journey and the discussions that we've had in the room the past few days, we've designed an intervention that uses the EAST framework to really simplify the process and maximize the value or perceived value for our customers. So we know that cognitive overload is really at play here. When we have that task of people submitting all of their data, it's just seen as super burdensome. And so by breaking up that task and just giving them a chance to just input some of their data at the start of our intervention, it will break up that cognitive overload and then give people a quick win at the start. So while there's different underlying motivations across our two personas that Simone talked through, we do know that cost is unlikely to be something that's ever deprioritized. We know that sustainability might be, and that's what we were hearing. But we do know that the value of the benchmarking tool is a cost-saving mechanism as well as it is a sustainability. So by framing that as the benefit, we understand that that will tap into both customer personas. So framed around our benchmarking tool is going to be some key supporting messages and testimonials from trusted sources, so in-group members from the wine industry. And they're going to provide some testimonials about how easy the tool is, the benefits they've seen from it, and that's going to help to challenge those misconceptions about how burdensome the task is and help talk through the value of cost saving. And we know that there's going to be a messenger effect there because people are going to trust that that source is coming from someone in their in-group. It's not coming from industry so much. We also want to give people an anchoring effect. So by giving them a chance to have a go and submit some of their data, they're going to have a positive experience in the back of their mind. And that's what they're going to come back to rather than that negative, burdensome, big task where they might have given it a go and given up. So our intervention is a value proposition that makes sense. We've framed it about the benefits, the cost saving, and that's going to tap into both customer personas. We've targeted a key moment for when this intervention will be delivered. So for Ken, we're going to provide it at industry events, and then for Lewis, we're going to tap into that second chance email that we know people get when they miss their data. We're going to give people an achievable goal, a quick win that's going to give them a positive experience about benchmarking. Really, we want to frame this as a solution to their problems rather than another problem or another task that they have to complete.
Alrighty, so what does it actually look like for your grape growers and your winemakers? This is the tool. So what we're planning to propose is something that is promoted on both the Wine Australia website as well as the Sustainable Wine Growing Australia website. It's accessible. We're also planning to leverage the fact that it's a deadline. You've just missed it. With that suspension email, let's pop a link in there. Like, what is hindering you from actually doing the data for the first time? Might be you can't see the value. You haven't seen that taster. We then have just really basic questions. Are you a winemaker? Are you a grape grower? What size is your business? This helps us with the personalization of the report that will come later. We then also target that easy win, that very simple metric of everyone has electricity usage. We know our bills, even I do. So that's an easy win. It's not hard. You don't have to count too much. It's done for you. We then give them a little bit of an instant gratification. Congrats, this is the first step. It helps them, we know everyone has a desire to be part of an in-group. We know that, give them a little bit of a prize for a small task, and they're more likely to go on to that bigger burden. We then also finish off with a prompting email of there's a more detailed report for you coming up, and this is what it will look like. Sit back and relax. Your in-depth energy saver report is here. This is an example of what your winemakers and your grape growers will see. What we use here is the first frame there is essentially off your electricity usage. What does that look like compared to your competitors, the producers around your area? What we're framing, as we've said, is by cost savings. That aqua text in the bottom, if you reduce your electricity usage by X, this is what you're saving. And then we also have that personalized depending on how you compare to the market, if you're above or under. We then have the full example of the report, as well as your member testimonies, which will be personalized based on if you're a grape grower or a winemaker. We then finish off with some cognitive dissonance. Do you want to be involved? No, I'm not actually interested in cost savings. No one's going to answer that, so hopefully that just helps us guide them along with things that, values that align with those underlying values.
Okay, so what does this look like from the perspective of the customer? We've got a customer journey here. In the middle, you can see what it looks like without our intervention, and on the outside, you can see what it looks like for our two personas. So we start off at a key moment. Like we've mentioned, an industry event for Ken and that second chance email for Lewis. Then what happens? They they care about costs. They want to engage with this energy saver tool. They do it, they put in their details, they get their little sample report, and they see how valuable this benchmarking can be. It resonates with them, it's what they've been looking for, and they want more. So they either, in the case of Ken, he becomes a member to be able to get that full benchmarking later on. And for Lewis, he renews his membership. So they both have that understanding. It's a value proposition that makes sense. Then throughout the year, when business problems are emerging, instead of this being deprioritized because it's about sustainability, it's a solution. They're encountering these problems. This cost saving is a way to solve these problems. So for both of them, that means it's prioritized. For Lewis, that sustainability factor is important too. And so that means it's even more important to him. Then finally, it's an achievable goal, and we see at the end of the customer journey, they're both reporting comprehensive data because that cost-saving motivation is very strong.
So just to summarize, because we're consultants, we want it to be implementable. One of the things that we want to sustain in terms of the data reporting is to offer a discounted subscription for the next year if you fill in your data for the last year. So that will make it sustainable into the future. We've proposed that Energy Saver tool be both on the SWA and the Wine Australia website to maximise the reach, so it doesn't matter if you're a member or not. And then also at industry events for those less tech savvy, other people can fill in for you. And then obviously the personalised messaging is going to be important. So that's the Energy Saver proposition.